Greetings everyone, this is Connor from Dagora TV, and in this video we're talking about Fallout 76. So as all of you will know watching this video, Fallout 76 is the new Bethesda Game Studios game that was teased a couple of days ago. And in this video I'm just going to be talking about all the facts and the theories that are pretty likely to happen of what we're going to be finding out about the game in the near future. But I'm also going to outline everything we know, and I'm kind of going to minimise opinion as much as I can in this video, and I'm going to kind of bring all that up together in a video that I'll release later in this week. And also how the Fallout 76 can impact the rest of Bethesda Game Studios. I will do that in a separate video. This video is solely on Fallout 76. So what happened was they had that stream where I made a video where they were teasing a new Fallout game. No one knew for sure what it was going to be. It was kind of a big surprise for everyone that a Fallout game was getting teased. They're showing it, Fallout Boy dude, Vault Boy guy there with the bobblehead, there with the please stand by image behind him on the TV behind him, and the developers every so often will come in, throw balloons out, have a puppet, put it to sleep at some point, and then after 24 hours or so of that being live, the stream went out of focus. They took the Vault Boy away, and then Todd came out on stream, came back to him and says, we've been looking forward to showing you a new game, this is what it is. And then we got the trailer for what turned out to be Fallout 76. And the trailer, as things go, just a teaser, just a little thing to show you everyone that know it's happening. Mainly because I think they did this to prevent leaks from happening, because so if everywhere, when they're setting up banners and stuff for the E3 booth for Bethesda and watching rehearsals for the showcase, there'll be Fallout 76 and Fallout related stuff there, and that will really kind of let people know that a new Fallout game is coming out for people that they're helping out with setting up the show, and then it's going to get leaked. With a major IP like Fallout, it's definitely going to get leaked. So, it's just to prevent that thing from happening, so it lets everyone know that it's going on, yet we're still looking forward to E3 to still find out what it's going to be. So, in the trailer, what do we really know about the game? So, we know it's a Fallout game, obviously, and we know a few things. We know that it's set in Vault 76, and if you haven't seen information about what Vault 76 is, or anything at this point, Vault 76 was opened in 2076, which is 1 year before the bombs dropped, to allow people to go in. So, it was letting people in before the actual bombs were dropped and everything, and before the Great War really took its stride. And this was to celebrate the tricentennial, or the 300th birthday of the USA of the Declaration of Independence, which happened in 1776. Vault 76 is also a control vault, and if you don't know what control vaults are, basically when Vault-Tec made all the vaults, most of the vaults that they made are experiment vaults, so they had like different things going on with them, like they'd put a certain amount of men and a certain amount of women together to see what would happen, or put drug addicts together, and then we'll have one and bring them all back to rehabilitation, and then leave one bag of cocaine in there or something like that, and they all start killing each other. Or leaving 1,000 men and one woman, or 1,000 women and one man, and stuff like that, and everything. There was loads of different experimental vaults to see how people would react, and they kind of experiment on people to see how kind of people behave in different situations. Whereas this vault, however, was one of the control vaults, and the control vaults were there to help rebuild society, bring society, and take Wasteland back to the normal world like it would have been before the Great War. And the vault was supposed to open in 2097, which is 20 years after the vault would have closed in 2077, which is when the bombs hit. And the vault really, in 2097, when it was meant to open, was meant to people to go out and start rebuilding society and take over the Wasteland and start a new society, however. And this, if you don't know, 2097, it would be the earliest that it would have been for a Fallout game to be set. However, the date on the Pip-Boy was 2102, which is 5 years after the vault was supposed to open. And we'll get into theories in a little bit of what this could possibly mean. But either way, that's kind of a good hint that 2102 is a good time for, the game to be set. And that is still 59 years before the setting of the first Fallout. And that is easily going to be the earliest Fallout in existence, and it's not going to include some of the, the famous factions and guilds that we know strongly of in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, New Vegas, and the other Fallout games as well. Like, the Brotherhood of Steel and stuff like that. They're not going to be there. And apparently there's going to be way less super mutants at this time as well, because of the lack of shows of the radiation and everything that's been going on in Fallout. There's not going to be a huge amount of those kind of great mutants that we're seeing, because it still, at the end of the day, is just fairly short after the bombs have hit. It's not that long away. It's only 25 years after when we're seeing that date on the Pip-Boy. The vault itself is actually inside West Virginia, or it's inside Virginia, what people are saying, and the song playing that's over the trailer that's going through and mentions West Virginia. So it seems a pretty safe bet that Virginia is going to be the setting of Fallout 76. And it seems that with the idea of the game being, you know, a lot of the thing to do with what the Vault is meant to be of rebuilding and everything, because in the trailer we see a lot of, you know, talk about it's our job to rebuild the society and everything. It seems that a lot of it is going to actually be building up the wasteland and maybe taking areas back from, you know, raiders and everything. But it seems to us that mainly it's going to be, you know, using the building system from Fallout 4 to kind of take back the wasteland and start rebuilding things and building up settlements and stuff like that, and really taking that step forward. In the trailer as well, we see a lot about Reclamation Day and whatever this is, and also on the Fallout stream there's a lot of stuff with confetti and putting cupcakes down and birthday hats and everything, and Pete Hines had one at the end of the trailer on the stream and everything. And it looks like when we're inside the vault that a party's gone on inside, and that party definitely seems to be, you know, it seems to have gone and everyone seems to have left. It seems to be an empty vault. And apparently a number that I've seen about Vault 76 was that there was 500 people in there. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like to be a very big vault. You know, it's got, you know, like football pitches in there and stuff. But the number I've seen is 500 people. Do not quote me on that if that is wrong, but that's the number that I've seen going around the internet. And it seems that everyone has gone, they've had the big party and they've gone on to take the wasteland, and it seems that our character's still there. And with a lot of emphasis and building and things on the trailer and the date of 2102, I am actually a part of the belief that I think 2097 was the date the vault actually opened, and it opened on time. They had the party, people left, and now we, the playable character, is treating that vault as kind of like a base of operations for everything that we're doing in the in the close area to Virginia, to the vault of, you know, to Vault 76, and you know that we're using that to kind of like as a safe zone in a way. Because people, if you haven't seen the theories of what the game is, there's been a lot of, you know, talk about it being online. There's a lot of talk about it not being a traditional Fallout single player game, and there was a lot of leaks about that shortly after. But the big reason for me of why I don't think this is the case is because Jason Schreier of Kotaku, he's a guy who's broke so much news. You know, for Fallout related stuff, he's the guy who broke the voice scripts of the voice protagonists to reveal, you know, the actual scripts that were going to be in the game for Fallout 4 before Fallout 4 was even announced, and that showed us it was going to be a voice protagonist, and they were actually the scripts that we used on the demo that we saw in Fallout 4 on stage at E3 2015. So he's written a lot of stuff. If you don't know his work, I definitely suggest you go and check out his work. He's one of the best investigative journalists in the gaming press, in my opinion. And he said on Twitter that if you expect the game to be single player, you'll be disappointed. And this was the point really where ideas went all over the shop on the internet. People were saying stuff about a Fallout MMO, which was rumoured years ago. That was rumoured such a long time ago. I think that was rumoured before ESO came out, that there was going to be the next. There was a studio, ZeniMax Online, that was going to make a Fallout MMO, and it turned out to be Elder Scrolls, so there was that it was coming back. And there was rumours about it being, you know, just a normal Fallout game, but you could bring a friend with you and everything. And then I was thinking immediately back to, I think it was about a year and a half ago now, where Bethesda had a couple of job postings on the site that they've got, and they was looking for jobs that people with online monetization. And there was a couple of people were thinking, yeah, could, you know, the next Bethesda game be online and everything, and it certainly looks like that's going to be the case. And also the big thing as well is that they've taken over Battlecry Studios and made that Bethesda Game Studios Austin. And Battlecry Studios were working on a game called Battlecry, which is going to be like a hero shooter and everything. And then people were thinking that Austin studio was the one that's actually the main studio for Fallout 76, and with Bethesda Maryland working on possibly something else as well, but also contributing towards this, because it does say that it is the Maryland studio and the Austin studio working on both things. So we'll get into that in a little bit. I think I'll get into that in more detail into my video that I'm going to make tomorrow, and I'll talk a lot about that there. But the thing really was that how ideas just went mental. It was kind of funny to watch in a way, you know, like I put about this on Twitter. It's like, it's mental how crazy people go when they get excited about a Fallout game, and some people were panicking, thinking they could be jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon, like, you know, like kind of Fallout 76 Battlegrounds or something like that, and everything. And then there were some people that were saying it could be a Rust clone, and then Jason Schreier came out and said it's going to be a co-op survival game with an emphasis on building, but it's not going to be, you know, a Rust clone. It's going to be something different. It's taking the Fallout series in the new direction. Everyone over there is excited about it, but it's still going to be Bethesda style game with quests and story and everything. And that does fit the mold of what Todd Howard said back in 2016 on the Game Time with Jeff Keighley, which I bring up, I think, every video I make ever, where Todd Howard came out and said what they're working on this moment in time is a Bethesda-style game, but it is something that they've done, there's something different than they've ever done before. And Bethesda Game Studios, for what I know, haven't made an online game, not in a long time, not since, Arena came out. Have they made something to do with online. And I think that it is taking Fallout in a new direction. And for people saying that it's not what Fallout, Fallout's not the kind of game series to take experiments with, I'd say they couldn't be more wrong at the end of the day, because Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics, they're isometric tactics games. Where you're overlooking the character, you're seeing it from a top down, and completely different than how Fallout 3 sets up. And I think a lot of that argument is coming from fans that kind of come into Fallout 3 and played 3, New Vegas, and 4, and there's no issue with that, and they maybe don't want the game to go in a different direction. But if it wasn't for, the game series going in a big different direction after Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics, then we wouldn't have Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas. So, and that was a big experiment, and this is just another experiment with the Fallout series. And it seems to be a side game, not taking the name of Fallout 5, but instead Fallout 76. We'll definitely have to see more at E3, but that's what they've said. They said that you'll have to see more at our showcase, and we're expecting Todd Howard to come out on stage, showcase everything. And what we're expecting is what Jason Schreier says, an online survival RPG, co-op survival RPG. I'm not expecting anything to be kind of, MMO-like, because one of the good points that I saw online was that what Mr. Mighty said, I think, on YouTube, that seeing, hundreds of people running around the wasteland that we see in, ESO, for instance, would just be really weird and kind of law-breaking, whereas having 1 or 2 people by your side, that's not breaking the law. And there's a lot they can do with it as well, because it's set before everything that we've experienced in the other Fallout games. So there's a chance to kind of see the birth of certain civilizations, see other vaults open, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that's going to be going on over the course of time in Fallout 76, and look forward to seeing more about what's going to be going on with it. There's a couple of theories as well about the release date of Fallout 76. One of the ones that I've seen is October 27th, because the date on the Pip-Boy that we saw earlier on in the video was it says October 27th 2102, so people are thinking maybe October 27th is a tease for the release date. October 27th is kind of around the time when Bethesda tends to release their games. They tend to do it like beginning of November, and October 27th itself is a Saturday, and Bethesda tend to release their games on a Thursday, so I don't know if that could be the case, but it's a cool little tease anyway if that is actually going to be true, or if it's just to give a little hint for the release date. And also what they're saying is, well, some people are saying and theorising as well as a popular theory. I'm just kind of trying to give out the popular theories, what could possibly be right, rather than the mental ones that are just so clearly wrong. Is that a lot of the board games that are around in the trailer, it says things like playable players 2 to 5 and stuff like that, or 1 to 5 and everything. So people are thinking that it could be a maximum of 5 players in a group. One of my personal theories is that it could be a game where it's always you're taking part in a group, so you have your friends come in with you, and then the rest of the group, say like you're playing with 3 friends, so there's you and 3 others, but that doesn't meet the requirement of 5, then the AI will take over that character or something, and then as a group you progress through the story doing different things and different missions and everything. That's what I think it could be, but it also could be because in a way people want to play it on their own and play it as like a single player game. You'd have 4 AI characters with you, so it'd work in that way as well, because I don't think Bethesda are the kind of company that would leave a single player behind, which is also a little hint of something that I will go into in my next video. But that's it for Fallout 76 and all the facts and the kind of popular theories that we know about it. I'm going to talk a lot about my opinions about Fallout 76 in another video. There's going to be a few videos out before E3 begins, so prepare yourself for maybe a video a day or something like that, because I want to talk a lot about my theories for E3 for Bethesda, what I think is going to be happening with other things at Bethesda as well, and also talk a lot more about my opinions of Fallout 76. But they're kind of the things that we kind of really know hardcore that I talked about earlier, and the things that we can pretty much assume with what's going on with Jason Schreier and everything at Kotaku. Another thing as well is that I think the lead artist at Bethesda replied to someone's Instagram comment when they said it was a Rust clone, and they said it's not a Rust clone, you should wait to see what's going on at the E3 stage, at the E3 showcase. You will not be disappointed. There's a lot of that kind of Bethesda is really trying to like get away from the idea, it seems to be, without making an official statement that it's a Rust clone, but not say that it's not a survival game, if you know what I mean. I think it's pretty much safe to assume it's going to be a survival game with a heavy emphasis on building with a co-op element. But it seems that there's going to have the story and quests and everything that Fallout games tend to have previously. But let me know what you think about all the stuff that you've seen about Fallout 76. Did you like the trailer? I don't know if I was that big of a fan of the trailer, to be honest with you. I wasn't like overwhelmed by it. I wasn't hyped after I watched it. I kind of watched it and thought, okay, yep, the kind of traditional kind of Fallout trailer with a little bit of stuff in there to kind of let us think. But it was kind of a little bit surprised to have a bit of an online leak come out of it as well. So let us know what you think about it and everything. Leave it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys for my video about Bethesda Game Studios tomorrow.